The Pine Village Villagers played professional football in the Leatherhead era of the early 20th century. The powerhouse team of mostly local young men were an unstoppable machine that put Pine Village on the map. Now all but forgotten, organizers in Pine Village wanted to pay tribute and recreated a 1919 football game between the Pine Village Villagers and the Rock Island Independents.
We had a great turnout, lots of families, kids throwing footballs. We had 2 football teams show up to watch the game, high school football teams show up to watch the game, and just had a lot of fun.
It's the 100th anniversary of a game where the 2 professional teams battled to a scoreless tie. The modern-day players wore vintage uniforms and played with a 1920s melon-style football. By game time, the crowd had grown to a pretty good size.
It was estimated that we had between 900 and 1,200 people show up. So for a little tiny town of Pine Village, that was really good.
Both teams put on a great show for the crowd. This time, the Villagers emerged victorious, beating the Independents 22-9. Austin says with all the support they've received from the community, there's talk of doing it again next year.
We already had players saying that they were ready to sign up for next year, and lots of people asking about being in the parade next year, so definitely we would do this again.
The Villagers were a professional football team in Indiana before the NFL even existed. In 1915, it was agreed that every member of the team would receive $40 per game. That was 4 years before the formation of what would become the National Football League. On Saturday, a new generation of fans were able to experience a little bit of history from a time when Pine Village, Indiana was the center of the football world.
Some of the kids were asking about the history of the Pine Village team, and I think that was great to pass it on to them.
Dave North, Star City News.